Welcome. Today we're going to make some pizza. So much pizza. Okay, so here's some tips for stress-free loading your pizza, or loading your pizza stress-free, or loading your pizza without any stress. Maybe that's what it should be. Here's some tips for loading your pizza and just stressing out a little bit less. One of my favorite things to use at home when I'm making pizza is parchment. I actually build the pizza on a piece of parchment cut slightly down to size, and then I put it on a sheet tray like this, which has no sides, so it slides really easily. Or I use my wooden peel, which is very handy, or a metal peel if you have one. It doesn't really matter which one of these tools you use. The main point of this tip is that parchment will save you the headache of a stuck dough. It will really be so much easier. So parchment is my first tip. So I've got an extra quantity of parchment here, and what you can do now that I have it on here is you can just take your scissors and just go in and remove the excess. And that's it. It's as complicated as that. Pizza, I love you. I love you, pizza. So stupid. So, parchment, a great tip for stress-free loading. If you're not going to use parchment and you want to do it like, you see people doing it in great pizzerias across the country, across the world actually, and you want to load straight off the peel, meaning you just have the dough on the peel and you're loading it, I recommend a few things. And the one that I'll start with is semolina. Semolina, or you could use cornmeal if you have cornmeal. Semolina works like a ball bearing, and it keeps the dough from sticking. It kind of is like a coarse enough consistency that it gets between the dough and the peel, and it allows it to roll back and forth. So a little bit of semolina on the peel. You've got your dough stretched to size, and again, this is about a 10-inch round, somewhere right around there, 9 or 10 inches, somewhere in that range. And then I just put the dough on. Once it's on the peel, the clock is ticking. You want to get to the next step, which is topping, right? But before I get there, sometimes I'll just give it a quick jiggle, and that's a little bit of a preview for a tip that's coming in just a second. But basically, I've got the dough on there. The semolina is going to keep it from sticking for a period of time. Okay, so peel, semolina, dough, topped pie, whatever. The semolina is going to do a great job of keeping that thing from sticking, so I can go ahead and load straight in. Whoop. And then you're ready to build another one. If I'm not having fun, I'm not having fun, okay? All right, so let's talk about peels. You have some options. Now, my preference is to build a pie on a wooden peel and then load off of that. You'll see a lot of people using metal, and I think you can sort of graduate up to metal if you want to, but for me, wood is the best surface. It's slightly porous. It holds a little bit of flour. When I put semolina on it, the dough just resists sticking in a way that metal almost encourages it. So my preference here for loading, if you're not going to use parchment, is to use a wooden peel. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the jiggle. And what I mean by that is basically that once you put the pizza onto the peel, you want to make sure that it's always floating. Where people get into trouble is if the dough sticks, right? You don't want it to stick. That's the whole purpose of using parchment to load, if that makes your job easier. I like using semolina, but the way that I make sure I'm okay is that I continue to sort of give these little shakes while I'm working with the dough. Let me show you what I mean. So just a little bit of a shake just to make sure that it's not stuck right before you go in. and then you load. You get it? Okay. Okay. Let's just bake that. Maybe I'll stretch another one and we'll get ready to do the last tip. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is kind of like what we've been doing with the jiggle, but it's a jiggle that happens right at the stone so that when we're loading it, we're making sure that the pie is sort of floating on the peel and gently sliding off as I back out of the oven. So I've made sure that the pie is not stuck, and then I go over to the oven to load. I'm going to put the peel at the back of the oven, right where I want the pizza to land, and that's when I start jiggling. I slightly angle the peel down, and the pie is going to slide off as I sort of jiggle and pull back. Let me show you. So I'm jiggling and slowly pulling the peel backwards. I know that the pie is not stuck because I've already checked. It's in there, no stress, pizza loading, that's how you do it. Boom. There are some tips for hopefully making things a little bit less stressful when you're loading pizzas or having friends over to share a pie. These simple tips, from parchment to semolina to how to get that jiggle just right to get the pizza into the oven to the type of peel even that you're using. These small things can make a big difference in terms of your comfort level when you're making pizza at home. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Tucker. You ate a lot of pizza. Oh, okay. It's like, I don't have to take home quite as much. Plus you're holding the camera and editing and running sound. And I don't know, drinking all our coffee too. That's good. Thanks, y'all. Enjoy the pizza. This is like a slice for me. It's okay.